There's a battlefield no one sees, but everyone lives on. A silent war fought not with swords or guns, but with thoughts, with doubts, with distractions. And every morning you wake up, you're already standing on that battlefield. The enemy is invisible, but it knows your every weakness. It knows how to whisper fear into your ambition, how to drip doubt into your purpose, how to wrap your mind in chains you can't even see. And if you don't rise, if you don't fight, it wins. But the truth? Most people don't even realize a war is being fought. They live their whole lives enslaved to their own mind, controlled by fears they inherited, driven by beliefs they never questioned, walking through life with the brakes on, not because the world held them back, but because their own mind did. Your greatest enemy is not outside of you. It is within. And until you conquer the enemy within, the world outside will always feel unconquerable. So today, you must draw the line. Today you decide, no more retreating, no more playing small, no more sabotaging your own rise. You were not born to crawl through life in fear. You were born to dominate it with clarity, conviction, and purpose. Because here's the truth. If you win the war in your mind, you win everywhere else. Mindset. The foundation of all victory. Every breakthrough begins in the mind. Every failure too. You don't rise when the opportunity shows up. You rise the moment your thinking changes. The moment you reprogram what's possible. Henry Ford once said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. That wasn't a motivational quote, it was a warning. Because most people fail before they begin, not in their actions, but in their thoughts. They kill the dream in their mind before the world ever gets the chance to. The mind is fertile soil, it will grow whatever seed you plant. If you plant fear, you'll harvest excuses. If you plant doubt, you'll grow delay. But if you plant belief, discipline, and fire, your life becomes unstoppable. The world will try to talk you out of this. It will tell you to be realistic, to settle, to aim lower so you don't feel disappointed. But remember, the world is filled with people who once had fire and chose comfort instead. Don't join them. You must choose thoughts that serve your highest self, not your laziest self. You must feed your mind daily like a warrior sharpening his blade. If you don't program it intentionally, it will be programmed by default, by media, fear, noise, negativity, and the opinions of small-minded people. You must become the guardian of your mind, fiercely, unapologetically. Belief is not wishful thinking. It is a weapon, the most powerful one you will ever wield. The men and women who changed history, Carnegie, Edison, Lincoln, Disney, were not the smartest, not the richest, not the most connected, but they believed with such intensity that the world had no choice but to yield. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Edison was called a fool by his teachers. Lincoln lost more elections than he won before he became the president who reshaped a nation. What separated them was not talent. It was the ability to believe beyond reason. You must do the same. When your belief is unshakable, nothing can move you. Critics sound like whispers. Failure feels like feedback. Obstacles become fuel, but when belief is weak, every challenge feels fatal. You second-guess every move. You become paralyzed by fear, not because you're incapable, but because you've forgotten who you are. And who are you? You are a creator, a force, a mind capable of reshaping reality. But belief is not a feeling. It is a decision. One you must remake every single day. And that decision must be backed by action. Because belief without discipline is just noise. It's the fire, yes, but discipline is the structure that keeps it burning. You must act as if success is inevitable, not optional. Speak like it, move like it, build like it, because the world listens not to what you say, but to the energy you bring. And belief is energy, it's frequency, it's momentum. Once you step into it fully, you don't chase things, you attract them. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they lack clarity. Their mind is scattered, their focus fractured. They are chasing 5 dreams with 10 distractions and 0 strategy. And when that doesn't work, they say success is about luck. But luck is what happens when clarity meets preparation. You must know exactly what you want, down to the smallest detail. Not vague hopes, not, I want to be rich or I want to be successful. No. You must define it with surgical precision. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it require of you? Napoleon Hill called this a definite chief aim, a burning obsession so clear it rewires your entire nervous system. You begin to see it, hear it, feel it, and when your vision is that vivid, your subconscious starts finding ways to make it real. You'll notice people, opportunities, paths you were blind to before. It's not magic, it's alignment. But clarity demands sacrifice. You must cut away everything that doesn't serve your vision, the distractions, the gossip, the people who drain your energy and celebrate your stagnation. You must be willing to trade being liked for being legendary. Clarity makes life simpler, not easier, simpler. Because when you know where you're going, every decision becomes obvious. Does this move me closer or further? If it's not aligned, it's eliminated. You can't hit a target you can't see, and you'll never hold what you're afraid to define. So be bold, get clear, declare what you want with conviction. Not just to the world, but to yourself. Because the moment you get clear, the path begins to unfold. Vision, the blueprint of the unseen. Clarity gives you direction, but vision gives you power. Vision is the blueprint of the life you were born to build. It's not what the world expects of you. It's not what your past says you're allowed to do. It's what your soul knows is possible, even when your current circumstances scream otherwise. Every empire ever built began as a vision in one person's mind. Before the Model T rolled off assembly lines, Henry Ford saw a world where cars were accessible to the average worker. Before the light bulb illuminated homes, Edison endured over 10,000 failed attempts, still holding the vision. Before Martin Luther King Jr. shook a nation, he saw a dream, not a plan, not a guarantee, a dream, and he gave it a voice. The difference between the masses and the greats protect their vision like a sacred fire. They don't let temporary setbacks snuff it out. They don't shrink it to make others comfortable, and they don't wait for permission to pursue it. They understand that vision is not passive. Vision is war, a war against doubt, against compromise, against every excuse disguised as logic. Your vision must be so strong, so personal, so emotionally rooted that you feel physically sick when you betray it. And that's the difference. Most people don't have a vision. They have wishes. Wishes they'd like to come true if life is convenient enough. But the successful, the obsessed, they build their lives around their vision. Every choice, every conversation, every moment is filtered through one question. Does this serve the dream? And if the answer is no, it's gone. This is the sacred power of vision. It gives meaning to sacrifice. It gives fuel to discipline. It gives pain a purpose. Without vision, you'll confuse movement with progress. You'll be busy, but going nowhere. You'll follow trends instead of forging legacies. But with vision, even your stillness has direction. Even your waiting has intention. Even your failure becomes fuel. So close your eyes and see it, not just as a goal, but as your new identity. Who are you when the vision becomes real? How do you move? How do you carry yourself? What energy do you bring into every room? See it, feel it, become it. Because when the vision is clear, the sacrifice doesn't feel like suffering. It feels like becoming. Purpose, the fire that never burns out. Purpose is not something you find. It's something you choose. And when you choose it, it chooses you back. Most people live like a leaf in the wind, pushed by opinions, fears, and temporary emotions. They change direction every time life gets hard, every time it stops being convenient. And because of that, they never plant roots. They never build anything real. They never walk in power. But when you live with purpose, you stop living on accident. Purpose makes you dangerous. It makes you immune to distraction. It makes you rise before the sun and stay up when others quit. Because you're not chasing dopamine, you're driven by destiny. Purpose is what makes a man get up when he's been knocked down 10 times. It's what keeps the woman fighting even when no one claps. It's what fuels the comeback story no one saw coming. Napoleon Hill said that one of the most essential ingredients of success is a definiteness of purpose. Not vague intention, not hopeful desire, a definite, unwavering, carved-in-stone sense of what you are here to do. And here's the secret. Your purpose isn't found in what you do, it's found in why you do it. Why are you building that business? Why are you writing that book? Why are you chasing that dream? If it's just for applause, it'll die in silence. If it's just for money, it'll break when the money doesn't come fast enough. But if it's for legacy, if it's for who you become in the process, then nothing can stop you. Purpose gives you emotional armor. While the world panics, you move. While others second guess, you commit. Because you're not fueled by trends, you're fueled by meaning. And here's what most forget. Purpose doesn't need to be flashy, it just needs to be real. A janitor with purpose will outperform a CEO without it. A mother with purpose will outlast armies. A creator with purpose will work with fire while others wait for motivation. Your purpose must be personal. It must be rooted in who you're becoming, not what you're collecting. Because when your soul is on fire, your bank account will catch up. But if you reverse that, if you chase status before substance, you'll always feel empty. Purpose first, everything else is bonus. The master key to all doors. If belief is the fire and vision is the blueprint, then discipline is the hammer that builds it. Discipline is not motivation. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It doesn't negotiate with laziness. Discipline is the voice that says, "We do it anyway." It is the most underrated form of self-respect. You don't wake up early because it's easy. You do it because you made a promise to yourself. You don't go to the gym because you're in the mood. You go because you have a standard. You don't show up to work, to create, to build, to grow because the stars aligned. You do it because you have a contract with your future. And discipline is how you honor that contract. The successful are not superhuman. They are simply consistent when others are casual. They don't always feel like it. They act like it. They understand that if you can't lead yourself, you will never be trusted to lead others. If you can't keep your own word, no one else's word will save you. Discipline rewires your self-image. Every time you do the hard thing, the uncomfortable thing, the necessary thing, even when you don't want to, you send a message to your subconscious, we are no longer who we used to be. And slowly, the old you dies, the weak you, the distracted you, the victim, the version of you that ran from pain, escaped through excuses and blamed the world, you bury that version through discipline. Because discipline is sacred, it's spiritual, it's not punishment, it's freedom. Freedom from regret, freedom from inconsistency, freedom from the emotional roller coaster that most people live on. And the deeper truth? Discipline is love. It is how you love your future self. It is how you prove to yourself every day that your dream matters more than your distractions. So sharpen it, honor it, protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. Action where dreams are forged into reality. You can read every book, visualize every dream, believe with all your heart, but until you move, nothing changes. Action is the bridge between the internal and the external. It is the furnace that forges belief into reality, the spark that turns potential into power. The truth is, the universe doesn't respond to thoughts alone, it responds to movement. You can dream of greatness, you can hope for success, but dreams without action are just hallucinations, and hope without effort is just delay in disguise. The world does not reward intention, it rewards execution. Thomas Edison didn't theorize the light bulb into existence. He built it, piece by piece, failure by failure. Over 10,000 failed prototypes. That's 10,000 actions in the face of darkness. 10,000 moves when others would have quit after 10. He didn't wait for motivation. He was possessed by conviction. And conviction without action is nothing but noise. This is where most people fall off. They mistake planning for progress. They confuse watching others with becoming one. They drown in preparation but never dive into performance. And when life doesn't bend to their blueprint, they fold. But if your dreams are sacred, you must move like it. Even when you're tired, even when no one claps, even when you don't know exactly how. Especially then. Because movement breeds momentum. And momentum, not perfection, is what reshapes your life. Think about it. A plane uses most of its fuel just to take off. The resistance is greatest at the beginning, but once it's in the air, momentum carries it forward. Your goals are no different. The first day is the hardest. The first hour, the first rejection. The first time you choose discipline over distraction. But the more you act, the easier it becomes. Not because the challenge disappears, but because your capacity expands. So move. Write the sentence. Make the call. Lift the weight. Launch the idea. Take the step. Because the only way to win the war in your mind is to start advancing. And once you start, don't stop. Make progress a non-negotiable. Make action your identity, because greatness doesn't respond to your potential. It responds to your persistence. Momentum, the hidden force behind every breakthrough. Once you move, you must protect the movement. Momentum is sacred. It's the unseen force that turns small victories into unstoppable progress. It's the compound interest of effort. It's not loud, it doesn't demand recognition, but its impact, devastating. Look at any empire, any dynasty, any champion. Momentum carried them through moments that would have broken others. It silenced their doubt. It turned failure into feedback. It transformed hesitation into hunger. But here's the truth, momentum is fragile, and if you don't defend it, distractions will destroy it. All it takes is one missed day. One I'll do it tomorrow. One moment where you let emotion override execution. And just like that, the fire flickers. The muscle weakens. The voice in your head that once said we're unstoppable now whispers it's okay to quit. Momentum doesn't die loudly. It fades quietly, in the comfort of compromise. That's why you must treat it like a living thing. Feed it, fuel it, protect it from comfort, from opinions, from laziness disguised as self-care. This is why rituals matter, why habits are sacred. They're not just productivity hacks. They are the anchors that hold you when your emotions try to drift you off course. Every morning routine, every workout, every late night working on your craft. Every time you say no to what's easy and yes to what's necessary, you are feeding momentum. And the beauty is it multiplies. What once took all your willpower becomes automatic. What once felt impossible becomes natural. Because momentum isn't just about speed, it's about identity. You're not just moving forward, you're becoming the kind of person who always moves forward. And that identity, that's the key. Once you see yourself as someone who executes, someone who shows up no matter what, then the war in your mind is already halfway won. Because from that place you don't need to hype yourself up, you don't need a reason to move. You move because that's who you are. So protect your streak, respect your rhythm, and if you stumble, don't sit in shame. Rebuild, fast, one action, one decision, one choice to reignite the flame. Momentum doesn't care how big your actions are, it only cares that they don't stop. Adaptability, the superpower of the understand this. Even with momentum, the path won't be straight. Even with vision, purpose, and discipline, life will not go according to plan. And that's okay, because it's not supposed to. This is where most people break. They confuse change with failure. They think detours mean defeat. But the truth is, adaptability is a superpower, and the greatest minds in history mastered it. Think of Darwin. It wasn't the strongest who survived, but the most adaptable. The ones who bent without breaking. The ones who pivoted without panicking. The ones who stayed grounded in their purpose, but flexible in their methods. You must become like water. Bruce Lee said it best. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Life will test you with detours, with rejection, with delays that feel like denial. But if your vision is true, if your purpose is anchored deep, you'll shift your strategy without losing your soul. The amateur panics when the plan changes. The professional adjusts and keeps moving. Your business may change, your timeline may shift, your environment may crumble. But you must stay fluid, resilient, strategic. Because your power isn't in how perfect your path is, it's in how committed you are to keep walking. Don't let stubbornness masquerade as strength. Real strength is flexible. It moves with life, not against it. Adaptability is not weakness, it's intelligence, it's survival, it's evolution. And if you can master this, you'll be unstoppable, because no matter what life throws at you, you'll adjust, evolve, and keep rising. Resilience, the unbreakable backbone of destiny. Resilience is not about never falling, it's about never staying down. Every giant you admire, every story that moves you is built on resilience. The ability to be shattered and still return stronger. To lose everything and still choose to believe. To feel pain and still rise with power. Abraham Lincoln faced years of failure, business collapse, a nervous breakdown, the death of loved ones, multiple political defeats. Yet he endured. He kept going when lesser men would have crumbled. Why? Because his vision was bigger than his pain. Pain tests who you are. Resilience reveals who you've become. And resilience is not loud. It doesn't shout on stage. It doesn't post highlight reels. It suffers in silence. It bleeds in the dark. but it never stops. That's its secret. You must become immune to pity, immune to sympathy. You don't need the world to feel sorry for you. You don't need applause for surviving. Your reward is your evolution. Most people think the storm is what breaks them, but the storm doesn't break you. It reveals the cracks already inside you. Resilience is the process of sealing those cracks with discipline, belief, and action. The question is not, will life hit you? It's what will you do after it does? Will you sit in your story, or will you rise in your strength? The ones who build empires are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who get up faster, smarter, and hungrier every single time. So let it hurt, let it burn, but never let it stop you. Because every scar you carry is proof that the war in your mind tried to win and failed. The world will test your emotions. It will throw chaos, criticism, conflict, not because it wants to destroy you, but because it wants to see if you've mastered yourself. Understand this, the most dangerous people are not the loudest, not the most reactive. The most dangerous are the ones who cannot be shaken, the ones who don't flinch in storms, the ones who remain composed when the room turns hostile. That is emotional mastery. It is the ability to feel, but not be ruled by feeling. It is not numbness, it is control. It is a trained awareness that says, I will not hand over my power to temporary emotions. When you let anger make your decisions, you lose your advantage. When you let fear dictate your path, you shrink into safety. When you let insecurity shape your identity, you rob the world of your greatness. But when you master emotion, you master influence. Influence over yourself, over results, over reality. Napoleon Hill wrote about this. That thought is the father of action, and emotion is the fuel of thought. So, if your emotions are out of control, your thoughts become erratic, your vision gets cloudy, your actions become self-sabotage. You must train your emotional state like a soldier trains for war. Practice stillness, practice detachment, not apathy, but power. The kind of power that allows you to walk away from drama, not engage it. The kind that makes your silence more terrifying than someone else's rage. People respect composure because in a world full of reactivity, presence is power. So when they insult you, don't respond. When fear rises, breathe deeper. When anger knocks, don't open the door. Let it pass. Let it knock itself out trying, because the moment you master your emotions, the enemy inside you dies. Most people chase peace through achievement, through money, through validation. But peace was never found at the top of the mountain. It was found in how you climbed it. Peace is not the absence of pressure, it is presence in the midst of it. It is not external, it is internal. It is earned, built, forged in the fires of war within yourself. You must stop looking for it in things that can be taken. Peace found in a number can disappear. Peace found in praise can turn to poison. Peace found in circumstance will break the moment the world changes. But peace built through purpose, that stays. Peace built through resilience that endures. Peace built through mastery that cannot be stolen. You must become your own sanctuary. You must learn to be still even when the storm screams. You must cultivate silence in your soul so loud that chaos outside can't reach you. This is not a soft concept. This is the final level of power. The warrior who has peace within cannot be baited into war without. They move with grace. They speak with certainty. They live with intention. And this isn't found in escape, it's found in confrontation. Confronting your fears, your insecurities, your old identities, and choosing daily to rise above them. Don't chase peace, build it brick by brick with truth, with action, with alignment, with gratitude for how far you've come, and hunger for how much further you'll go. Because when your inner world is steady, the outer world obeys. Learning, the weapon of lifelong victory. Finally, if you want to win the war in your mind, you must never stop learning. The mind is a muscle, and the moment you stop feeding it, it starts feeding you excuses. Every master you admire, every leader, every creator, every game changer they read. They ask questions. They upgrade their thinking like warriors sharpen their blades. You cannot expect next-level results with last year's mindset. You must become obsessed with understanding, obsessed with self-examination. Not to criticize, but to elevate. The ones who stay sharp, rise. The ones who think they already know, rot. Your ego will try to protect you. It will tell you that you're already great, that you've already arrived. But learning is not about weakness, it is about weaponry. It is how you evolve, how you see what others miss, how you adapt faster than the battlefield can change. Read, reflect, reinvent. Every time you consume a new idea, a new challenge, a new lens, you give your mind more tools to win. You expand the arsenal, you widen the vision. But more than learning from books, learn from life, learn from pain, learn from setbacks, from rejection, from silence, from loneliness. These are the professors most ignore, but they carry the deepest truths. You cannot win the war in your mind with old weapons. You must evolve, you must grow, you must commit to mental expansion as if your future depends on it. Because it does. The anchor that grounds power, in the middle of the storm, in the climb toward greatness, in the pursuit of more. Don't forget gratitude. Gratitude is not weakness, it is not softness, it is not passivity. Gratitude is strength. It is the weapon that keeps your soul clean while the world tries to corrupt it. It is the anchor that holds you steady when ego starts whispering lies. It is the lens that reminds you, no matter how far you still have to go, you've come too far to stop now. Most people only practice gratitude when things go right, when the win is obvious, when the success is loud. But those who truly master the war in their mind, they give thanks in the trenches. They give thanks in the silence, in the rejection, in the discipline, because they know every part of the journey is shaping something eternal. Gratitude is a form of intelligence. It is the mind recognizing the growth is happening even when results haven't shown up yet. It is proof of perspective, and perspective is power. You see, without gratitude, ambition becomes greed. Discipline becomes bitterness. Progress becomes never enough. But with gratitude, everything sharpens. You stop focusing on what's missing and start maximizing what you already have. You stop comparing and start building. You stop grasping and start expanding. And here's the irony. When you give thanks for where you are, you rise faster. Why? Because the universe responds to stewardship, to those who honor what they've been given, to those who squeeze greatness out of the ordinary. When you master this, life trusts you with more. Gratitude doesn't mean you're satisfied. It means you're powerful enough to appreciate the now while still demanding more from the next. So when the pain hits, say thank you. When the win comes, say thank you. When the failure teaches, say thank you. Because a grateful heart never quits. It just grows. Become the version that wins. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. Every outcome in your life is a mirror of your identity, your income, your habits, your health, your relationships. They're not accidents, they are reflections. If you want to change your life, change your identity, not the surface identity, not the titles, not the resume, the inner identity, the one that lives in your self-talk, the one that whispers when no one's watching. That's the one running the show. Most people try to force change with willpower. They set goals, they write affirmations, but they never become the kind of person who naturally produces those results. So they sabotage, they delay, they quit, not because they're weak, but because they haven't updated their operating system. You cannot outperform your identity, not for long. You must rebuild it, consciously, repetitively, relentlessly. Who are you becoming? When you walk into a room, do you see yourself as someone who commands excellence? Or someone still begging for approval? When you speak, do your words carry conviction or apology? When you move, do you move like someone who wins or someone who's still hoping to be chosen? Identity is not inherited, it is installed. You build it every day. With every small act of discipline, every decision that aligns with your vision, every moment you show up, even when no one sees it. Your future doesn't need a better version of your circumstances. It needs a stronger version of you. So kill the old you. Bury the identity built on insecurity, on trauma, on survival. Replace it with vision, with fire, with truth, with strategy, with clarity. And once you become the version of yourself that wins, watch how quickly life begins to obey. What will they say? One day, your name will be spoken for the last time. The question is, what will it mean? We chase success, we chase goals, but legacy is different. Legacy is what lives when you don't. It is the ripple your life created in the world, the impact that echoes, the message that survives you. And here's the truth. Legacy is built in silence. Not with loud announcements, but with quiet consistency. Not with applause, but with alignment. not with status, but with soul. The greats weren't trying to impress, they were trying to serve something eternal. Carnegie didn't just build steel, he built institutions of education. Martin Luther King didn't just fight laws, he changed the moral compass of a nation. Mandela didn't just survive prison, he forged forgiveness into the heart of a fractured country. These men weren't perfect, but they lived with fire, they died empty. They gave their mind, their voice, their strength to something bigger than themselves. And so must you. You don't need to change the whole world, but you must change your world. You must leave it better than you found it. You must become someone your future bloodline looks back on and says, because of them, I believed. Legacy is not about fame, it's about fruit. What did your life produce? Did your courage unlock someone else's? Did your discipline break generational cycles? Did your mindset create new standards? That is legacy. And every day you delay your rise, you rob the world of the version of you that was born to lead. Every excuse, every compromise, every moment spent hiding from your greatness has a cost. So stop waiting the business, write the book, speak the truth, heal the pain, lead the movement, raise the standard, light the fire. Because when it's all said and done, your tombstone won't list your follower count or your resume. It will carry the weight of your choices. Make them count. Final climax, win the war. Riva, this is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Because the war in your mind will not wait. It is happening with or without your permission. It is silent. It is brutal, and it has one mission, to keep you small. But now you know better. You are not your fears. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are the commander of your mind, the architect of your destiny, the master of this battlefield. You were not born to live in chains. You were born to rule. So stand up, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Refuse to be the old version for one more day. Refuse to think another thought that shrinks you. Refuse to speak another word that limits you. Reclaim your mind. Feed it power. Train it with purpose. Arm it with discipline. And flood it with vision so clear that fear no longer has room to live. Because once the war in your mind is won, nothing in the external world can hold you. Not rejection, not failure, not delay, not criticism, not even time. So rise now. Win in silence. Build in darkness. Master yourself behind the scenes. And let the world wonder how you became unstoppable. Because the war was never outside of you. It was always within. And now, you win.